thank you all for being here. This is incredible. This is our 4th episode. I get better every time we do it. I don't have a broadcasting or journalism background, but I feel comfortable in these seats because I'm here with friends mostly. So thanks for all being here. We open up every episode. You guys may have seen it where we ask a tough question, right? And what we call this is one's gotta go. So if you think about these 2 individuals and the names that I say, if you thought about everything that they've produced, one's got to go. Now, in this case scenario, we're going to limit it to boxing only. Boxing only, right? Not what they've done as an activist, not what they've done as an actor, just boxing. So if I ask you, and anybody can jump in, one's got to go, who would it be? Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson? We always get that reaction.
And the person that's got to go is the one you think.
The person's got to go. Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson. The one that's got to go is the one that you just can't live without.
The one you can't live without of the 2.
Boxing only.
Okay, Muhammad Ali was the most skilled person at both boxing and using all his other talents. He understood the sport better than anyone. He may not have been the best boxer. He may not have been the strongest puncher, but he knew how to win. He knew how to play the sport.
Okay, so Muhammad has to stay.
He's stay.
Mike
he
Tyson.
has to stay.
Mike
Tyson has to.
Okay.
I think I have to agree with that too, because there was something about Muhammad Ali that he was himself. You know, he's
in the ring.
In the ring, yeah. He was himself. He knew himself. He knew his power. He knew how to get into the mind of the opponent.
For sure.
So,
Sting like a bitch.
yeah,
right.
Yeah. So I would have to agree.
So Mike Tyson's got to go, Molly.
Sorry, but I like his tattoos.
I thought you would go with the knockout punch. Yeah, the tattoos. Yep, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I know I'm a little bit younger, man, but Muhammad Ali was different.
Yeah.
The way his flash in the ring, the jab, the like, his charisma, just everything in the ring, I felt like, is what really sold the fight and created, that fan base, that huge fan base that he had, man. And I mean, I love Iron Mike, man, the way he could get people out of there in one round and just knock them out. You seem like this is an animal. How does anybody beat him, But I just think Muhammad Ali, him being, that big, heavyweight, tall, long, it's not meant for a man, of that stature to be moving with such quick feet. You know what I'm saying? So I have to say Mike would have to go.
Mike's got to go. Yeah. Steve, you going against the grain?
Well, it's not even close. I mean, when you really think about it, just think about what he and Frazier were doing back in the 70s. And
how many times did they fight? A few.
At least 3. And they fought, anywhere in the world, in Africa. I mean,
in Manila.
David knows stuff like the back of his hand.
I mean, and when I was a kid, you'd listen to it on the radio. That's how you listened to that sport at that time. And the sport, even 30 years even before then, when Joe Louis and everybody was still prominent, and then it sort of died down again. He brought that sport back, the heavyweight boxing back to something that was worldwide and watched by millions and millions and millions of people around the world. And subsequently, that sport, and even when Mike Tyson was there, it's for a variety of reasons has gone downhill.
Yeah, why though?
Well, it's I think a lot.
So we know Mike Tyson has to go for you.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
That's solidified.
But he was a great marketer.
Yeah.
I mean, he was.
Yeah.
He was a
He sold a
boxer,
fight.
but what he did, he created a show. He created interest. He generated interest even amongst people that weren't boxers. Whether you either liked him or disliked him, but you had a point of view as opposed to ambivalent. And that created eyes and created attention.
Yeah.
He was probably one of the best promoters of his sport, probably that's lived.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. And Floyd Mayweather could.
I mean, think about the controversy.
And Sugar Ray.
And Sugar Ray.
But think about the
But nobody.
controversy.
He's the blueprint.
But it had nothing to do with boxing. I mean, he decided he didn't want to go to Vietnam.
Sure.
And he went to jail for that. And think about that. The guy was the most at that time he was the most prominent person. Knocked out Sonny Liston, and he was vilified for that. And there were people who vilified him, for that, and that they never got over that. But he was a man of conscience, and many people respected him for that.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, Arin, you're in the entertainment business, and your response was sort of dedicated to that side of him. Yeah. You know, when you step on stage, what do you feel like you owe that audience? Even before you step on stage, I guess, to an extent.
I mean, yeah, when I step on stages, I have to give them everything. You know, these people come here to see a show, to feel something. You know, I'm there to really, you know, I guess feed off that energy, one, and then just take it to the next level. You know, I'm big on, you know, showmanship. You know, Michael Jackson was my favorite. You know, I love Stevie with everything he did, Marvin Gaye, you know, Usher, anybody. There's so many, you know, artists that I can name, but it's just really just putting all of my heart and all of my soul into it. And then plus, you know, with the music and the way I do music, you know, it's very personal to me. So, you know, I'm gonna feel that when I'm on stage because I'm singing in words that I wrote about my life, you know. So that's just the biggest thing, is really just, you know, keeping the energy up. Even if it's somebody just chilling like this or on a, what? I'm going to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going straight to you. Hey, and I'm jamming with you until you smile. Because I'm going to make you smile. Even if you want to frown, you want to, you know, act, because your friends being too cool. That's one of the things I say is like, you ain't got to follow nobody here when you're at my shows. You know, don't follow anybody. Be yourself. If you feel like you want to jump up, do whatever you got to do. Because that's what I'm about to do. And that's what I want you to do, is forget everything else that we doing, everybody else's feelings, whatever perspective. Just have a great time. That's love. That's my biggest thing, man.
That's love. That's love.
Yeah.
Molly, how can you relate to that? Your industry is, I mean, it's an entertainment industry.
It is an entertainment industry.
A lot of people don't see it that way, but that's
I know. Well, believe me, I know.
That's the truth.
But I see it that way. I agree with you so wholeheartedly. When people come into my bar, or I'm going to speak with a group or something, I come in as myself, you know. I truly believe that you can't fail at being yourself. For sure. You know, you can't copy off of anybody. Like Muhammad Ali, he didn't copy off anybody. He was himself.
And it's hard to replicate him as well.
Yeah, you can't. You know, you will fail if you try to do that.
For sure.
So I truly believe, like when people come into my bar, I give them my whole self.
Yeah, you do.
And I give them attention. I think sometimes you go into a bar and it's like, oh, here's your Jack and Coke, that'll be $10. Lord. And thank you very much, and I'm out. No, when you come into my bar, you order a drink. You don't just get a drink, you get a whole story with that drink. And I think that's really important, to give that experience.
Well, I've learned to not come see you during the week. It has to be a Friday or Saturday for me.
Friday and Saturday, when it's slow, I can tell stories. But 4 deep at the bar, I'm like, here's this drink. It's from the 1880s.
Literally.
Go.
Literally. Last time I was at your bar, you made me a drink from the 1800s, and you gave me the history behind it. And next thing you know, I've had 4 of them, and it's a Tuesday afternoon, and I'm like, okay, I got to get out of here.
Magic.
Absolutely, absolutely. Steve, how important is that for you guys? You guys, 3CDC has a lot of bar and restaurants. How important is it for you to identify those who have sort of the storytelling aspect to why they're in that industry, right? Everybody wants to do it. But it has to be more than that you guys pick up on.
Well, first of all, those, you know, the people that own the bars and restaurants and the restaurateurs and the retailers, they're the ones that made this neighborhood. Sure. I mean, sure, we were able to come up with the capital and get the corporate support and doing what we did. But the real heroes here are the people that own the businesses, you know, that started out early on with, you know, Jean Robert was early on, and Dan Wright was early on, and then others came in. And of course, you've never left. You were always here. You've been there and always there. But they're the ones that we rely on. I mean, it's just not what we do. We rely on investing in people that we think can trust to bring an experience, to add to the neighborhood. Don't take from the neighborhood, add to the neighborhood. And whether or not it's Molly or Mike Stankovich or the guys at 4EG and Bob Deck, and each of them have a story to tell and a program that differentiates them, the homemakers, and they all have a different story to tell, and hopefully you will have a soon story to tell as be part of the group.
Don't spill the beans. Don't spill the beans.
I said, I didn't tell you.
Don't spill the beans. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You know, we're having David's retirement party there, by the way. He didn't know that until just now.
But it's exciting to see every time where you invest with somebody that they're our partner, and it makes you feel so good when they're successful.
Sure. Absolutely.
I always say that, I study a lot of history, right?
Yeah.
And looking at communities and villages and towns that have come up, you need two things. You need a tavern and a church. You have that, that's your beginning of your community. I don't know if the church is any more, but it's really the people.
It's a civic space. It's a civic space, like the parks
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
I mean, Washington Park serves that purpose.
That was so important to this neighborhood.
it was.
But you definitely need a tavern. You have a tavern.
David, you're a big fan of history. We've had some calls, and you've showed me some books in your office. And what's your passion behind digging deep into the history and learning? Especially being in a position that you were in, it almost feels like you still are a student of the game, and I really appreciate that about you.
Yeah, the key word is student. I think that what we all, want to have is a lifelong curiosity. Because when you're curious, you want to learn. You see people that are different from you as a wonderful chance to learn and experience something you didn't experience yourself. It's one of the most powerful lessons to me I've had in my job was early on figuring out I didn't have to be right. I had to see that the right thing got done. And the way you do the right thing is you surround yourself with people that are different from you, that have different experiences and skills. And then you have a trusting relationship. And what happens is you learn from them things that you didn't. And that body of knowledge then allows you to make much better decisions. So history allows you to learn from people before, mistakes and victories. And to me, those that ignore history or don't understand the power of diversity, the power of learning and seeing differences and opportunity, to me, close off all kinds of opportunities to me to both learn and then to be effective at whatever career you choose. I mean, each of you have mentioned people before you that you've taken learning from and then made it yourself. What is your own? But we're all a collection of, our parents, our friends, as well as our associates. The wider circle you have, the more you can avail yourself of learning and experiences. And that's one of the things that's special about Cincinnati, is what I've seen is there's forums that come together and bring people with different backgrounds together. And people seek that out versus avoiding it. We don't see it as a threat, we see it as an opportunity. And to me, this city, has an opportunity now just to elevate the whole city by tapping into the incredible resources available to the city. Yeah. There's no reason we can't grow, to be the most impressive place to live for a family, for an individual, whatever walk of life, whatever lifestyle you want to have. The Cincinnati has the opportunity to offer that.
Yeah, I mean,
real.
We agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I
know you guys agree. Aaron, 100%. We sat here 2 months ago talking about how you wanted to come back home more, and you got a free show, right, coming up in just a few days.
For the hometown. There we go. Take care of us at home.
I had to, man. I haven't performed in, 2 years since Europe. I did a tour in Europe in 2019, right before the pandemic. So, just to be able to perform here, to be able to bring something back to my city is just, the biggest thing for me. When I was young, we didn't have too many people coming back to, as far as on the music side, that I know that was able to, get back and show us the ropes and show us, and guide us. So, my biggest thing now is just, how can I be that bridge? How can I, funnel all this information that I've learned from being over, in the music business in the game in California or anywhere, New York, Atlanta, and just bring that back here, and show the kids that it's also possible, but it's like, this is the way you can do it, as far as communicating, handling a business, making sure you got the right people around you, like you said, that is like very, very key. And I've learned that through my trials and tribulations through, LA. I've taken my L's, which are lessons. I've taken those, and I've taken my wins as well, so just being a bridge here, being somebody that, people can look at like, hey, he's a positive influence. He's always, somebody I've been around the city always as a kid performing, and now I want to do that the same as an adult. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's, free shows or, we're doing something for the kids, maybe back at SCPA, you never know. So that's just, my biggest thing is just giving back right now and being able to be that bridge and be a voice, for people who, I guess for people who don't really know, where to go with this, or how to even take that step or to get off.
It's a hard industry to crack into.
It is.
I mean, you left high school and moved days later.
Yeah, 7 days.
7 days
was
after
gone.
high school, you moved to LA.
Yeah, I was
and
out.
You're thinking, and with the goal in mind to be a national recording artist.
For sure, yeah. I had to leave. I just felt like I needed to, I guess, just see something different,
Yeah.
you know, from being on X Factor at that point.
I forgot. Wait, hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Time out. I didn't know that until I don't know how I didn't know that.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really, you know, showcase it to the world, and I don't say that all the time in my interviews or nothing like that.
Right.
I like, you know.
So what were you talk about X Factor just briefly?
It was a cool experience. It was different. You know, I'm on national television in front of millions of people every night, and then you know, my first experience actually auditioning for something to that capacity. You know, I had to go audition in Chicago in like the snow, sleet. It was like 30 degrees. I'm waiting outside, you know, the whole stadium for 3, 4, maybe 5 hours just in the cold with my mother. Shout out to my mom. And we just thugged it out. And we both auditioned. We both got through all the process. But it was different, you know, the structure, the way, you know, the businesses ran, how it's very, you know, it's very, I guess, there's a plan for everybody with those shows.
Sure.
From the beginning, even to the end. So it's like, it's different. You know, the show business, it'll really show you some things that you never really seen, especially when you're in Cincinnati, when you don't really get those type of opportunities. But I'm very grateful because I got to meet so many people, and that then segued into who I was working with when I moved to LA. You know, that was the producers that I met on the show gave me my first chance in the studio, which led to me actually being able to record every day and just workshop and just learn from all the greats that I was learning from, you know, that, you know, work in the show business that I would see you hear on the radio, and now I'm just chilling with them in the studio session, just learning from them, workshopping. So
that's real.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead, Molly. Say it.
I think that's so cool because I see a lot of young people, especially like not younger than 21. Yeah.
Disclaimer.
But you know, they have so much potential, and I think I know you can see it. You know, you can see the passion, like just like what you have, and that's awesome. You need to come back to the city and just show people that just jump, go, do it. That's so cool. We have like one of the coolest music cities, I think, in the
very
country.
True. People don't know that.
And people don't know. People do not know what
We're gonna
comes
get them on
from the
Fountain
city,
Square.
man.
We're gonna do a concert
for
on
sure.
Fountain Square.
I've done that many times, and I would love to do it again. You know what I'm saying?
The new stage. You mean our new stage?
I would love to. I would love to. Anywhere, man. I'm trying to be all over here. You handle it?
Yeah, we're handling it. Yeah.
Steve, we've been boasting about Cincinnati. Well, you're from Pittsburgh.
I am.
Are you a Steelers fan?
I am. I mean, if I told you otherwise,
my goodness.
if I told you otherwise, you wouldn't trust me. I mean, you know my job before I came here. I ran the Sports and Exhibition Authority that built the two stadiums.
Did you to the game earlier this year?
I did. Which one? which disappointment? Yeah.
But I mean, you were behind sort of like, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, the financing of Heinz Field?
Yeah, I ran the Sports and Exhibition Authority that built the two stadiums and convention center. We did it all at the same time, and that's when I finished up there is when I got recruited to come
Then
here.
you decided to go to the big leagues.
I went to the big leagues. And you know, that was a big, you know, I kind of refer to it as a sort of a public works project. It happened all at one time, and it was a really, but you know, my job before then, I was housing director and a development director in Pittsburgh. So when I came here to get recruited for the job and walk through the neighborhood, I said, you know what, this is it.
Had you spent time in Cincinnati prior to that?
Back in college, you know.
Yeah.
But
because you went to OU and Ohio
went to
State.
OU.
I'm good at this, right?
Yeah, you are very good. So this job felt, you know, sort of fit my background, and I could tell when I came here. The main thing was that people love their city, and people in Pittsburgh love their city, but people love their city here, and it's reflective. I mean, of what I've seen since I've been here, and we've been through incredibly tough times. I came right on the heels of a young man losing his life, and watched it from afar and from Pittsburgh, and saw it and said, "What the hell's going on there?" You know, but we have recovered very much so. We still got a long way to go. But even through last year, through the pandemic, through the civil unrest that occurred, we have, as opposed to other cities, I believe, we've come out better, we've come out stronger, we've come out healthier. Again, we got so much more work to do, but I feel very good about where we're going.
I mean, Molly, you've built businesses throughout that entire time frame. How have the changes in Cincinnati and this inner city community? Well, what are your thoughts on that? How do you feel about it?
Well, I lived in over the Rhine in the 1990s, and it was rough. It was scary. I mean, I walked to work. I worked down on Main and 8th, and I lived on 14th and right on 14th and right by Central Parkway by Wood and Nickel. And yeah, I saw some crazy things then. So I went away. I went to San Francisco.
Yep.
In California.
For how long? Like a decade, right? 10 years there?
12 years.
12 years.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so I did a lot of cool things there and met a lot of really interesting. I met people from countries I didn't even know existed. Wow. I thought that was just so cool.
That is real.
So really eye-opening from a girl, 7th generation from Cincinnati, who lived in over the Rhine before going out there. So when I came back in 2008, I remember the first time my family took me through like Vine Street, and Lavomatic was there.
Yeah.
And I was like, where are we? Because I remember walking past all these buildings. They were all boarded up.
Still in over the run. You can still hear the horn. Still in over
I know.
the run.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Of course.
Not much has changed.
If that didn't happen, I would be worried because I love the sound of the city. But yeah, I was so surprised and so just overwhelmed. Like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I mean, that day I was like, what's going on? And then I learned about 3CDC because I didn't know about it before I moved back. I actually got a real book. I think I still have it. There's a book written about 3CDC.
It's like the archives.
Yeah. And I was like,
I'm afraid to read that one.
I'll find it for you. It was really, really cool to see what had been going on. And I'm like, so I knew I needed to, I didn't know I was going to have a business until maybe a year or two later. And I was like, well, I don't like to be told what to do, and I like to make my own rules. So I'm going to open my own business. And that's when we opened JAPPS.
So how long has JAPPS been open?
11 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 2010.
Congrats.
That's a long time for a bar.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Right.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That is amazing.
What's the average?
I
sort of
think
lifespan?
I think it's 6 or 7 years, but most of our I got Lackman's got to be going on 10, 12 years.
Yeah,
Sure, they've been there
they
a
were
while.
open, and well, Dan's or Senate, which down there, Abigail, they were open longer than me. I worked at Lavomatic, and I actually got fired because I didn't want to serve Sazerac, Sazeracs with nachos. Because they were changing the menu and they didn't want me to make classic
Who
cocktails.
fires Molly Wellman?
It was the best thing that ever happened to me. So I was like, I remember going over to Dan and Elena and his wife, Leah, and I was like, oh my God, I just got fired. I'm like, I'm scared to death, but this is awesome. I can do whatever I want now.
Bro.
So this is great. So then JAPPS. And yeah, but to be a part of this neighborhood and watch it grow and watch the changes. And I made drinks for so many people to help make changes, like for raising funds. Yeah. I helped loosen up people's wallets.
Love that. Love that.
Beautiful.
But I never in a million years would 14-year-old Molly Wellman think that she would be sitting here today talking to all you guys.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, we love you. You do a great job.
Well, thank you.
And we're very blessed to have you in this town. David, you and Coach K are retiring at the same time, and I know you guys are friends. You guys got like some master plan?
No, I don't know Coach K personally. I admire him. I don't know him.
I'm sorry. You're a big Duke fan. I know you.
Yeah. I went to Duke, and my wife and I have 3 sons, and they've all gone to Duke. So we're fairly tied to the university, and we'll be going down to a few basketball games this year.
You gotta wear those sneakers. I got you.
Yeah, I do have those. Yeah,
I was very thoughtful when I did that.
You were very thoughtful.
I was like, I probably shouldn't get the Carolina boots.
No, you did. But Coach K is special for many reasons, but I think he teaches life lessons.
Yeah.
I think he's got very high standards.
He raises players.
Yeah, I think
literally.
he elevates it. He understands the power of team, not individual, and he'll tell you that. You know, if you read some of his books, it's about how do you take a group of people and elevate them to perform at a level they didn't expect, and collectively accomplish things individually they couldn't. And to me, I think he teaches that. You've seen him, he's coached Olympic teams.
Yeah.
And he's taken, whether it's pros or college players. And many people would say it'd be very difficult to take pros because of egos. He's able to work with people and tap into the good in folks and say there's something bigger than any of us individually that collectively we can accomplish.
Yeah.
To me, that's one of the powerful lessons. I think he's an outstanding leader as well as coach and teacher. And for that reason, I very much admire his body of work over 40 years.
Sure. How have those lessons sort of poured into you as you've led one of the largest companies in the world? We talked about this a little bit during the diversity symposium, and you know, talent-wise and growing talent up within Procter Gamble. How have those lessons affected the way you lead?
Yeah. My experiences over time have certainly, my view is that the most effective leaders are ones that don't look to judge and evaluate. They look to develop and invest in and elevate. Because the role of a leader, you tap in. If I look at all the people we hire outstanding people. And for whatever reason, not all groups are progressing. So the challenge is find the superpower in everybody and unleash it. Think about it, the human potential available to us. How do you find a way to tap into that, bring it together, and to serve something bigger than any of us individually? Sure. P&G serves 5 billion people on the planet will buy a P&G product. Over half the planet will buy a P&G product this year. So you can touch and improve their lives if you do a little bit better with the product, the package, communicate to them in a respectful, authentic way. All those things to me are available to us. We have a platform as one of the world's largest advertisers that can communicate values. We can live our values about how we view people, treat people, as well as how we take care of the environment. And to me, that's such a tremendous opportunity. And the way you accomplish it is to unleash the talent in people, not direct it, unleash it.
I love that. And you guys go, I mean, beyond the products. A lot of community focus. I work very closely with Barbara Hauser and Damon Jones and some of the things that we create specifically here in Cincinnati, and the support of Juneteenth and the support of art specifically as it comes to local and black and brown artists. So I just want to give you your flowers, right? And the entire company their flowers in regards to the way you guys show up and represent.
Well, thank you. We feel very fortunate, blessed to be part of the Cincinnati community. We've been here for 184 years, and many people long before me recognized the power in being part of the city, not just being in the city, but be part of the city. And we benefit from just all the talent available in Cincinnati, the support of people in Cincinnati in good and bad times. We hang together. So we're very committed to the city, and we want to give back. We believe if we're in a community, if you touch it, you make it better. Where we live and work, you ought to contribute. And frankly, that comes both ways. Cincinnati's been great to us. We have such access to amazing people to live, to learn, for our families, for our people, our employees. So to me, it's mutually beneficial, and I think Cincinnati's a terrific.
You're not giving your. I got to jump in here because it's not. Since we've been at this for as long as we have cities from around the country that have come to try to understand how this all happened, and even places like Atlanta that has a lot of headquarters, Delta and Home Depot and Coca-Cola. I mean, go down the list. I mean, it's big time and they've tried to replicate with it. But what P&G and others, Fifth Third and others have done, but P&G with a leadership role. What they've done in this effort to reinvest in their community is unprecedented. And it's because there's a variety of reasons for that. One is it takes up your time. Carolyn's probably got a few other things she could be doing right now.
This is important. We value it. Yes.
You got some time to do.
Yes.
You've got, so it's got your commitment of capital resources. You've got financial resources, what you've contribute to us in our funds and our operating, and what you've invested in this community, and all the sponsorships that you've described. It's a lot of money. It's millions and millions of dollars. So it's human resources, it's capital resources, it's reputational risk. You mean they're investing in this, they're investing with us. We could do something stupid, You know, but the intestinal fortitude, this is not an easy game. It's not an easy exit strategy. They can't get into this and get out of it. You know, they're in it, and they've been in it for the long run. And that's the problem with every other city that's tried this and thought about it and didn't do it, because they don't have the intestinal fortitude or the commitment, and you guys have. And it goes beyond, it's beyond any comparison to any other city.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Real quick, Molly, I want to ask you a question.
I want to answer that real quick, because I truly believe everything. I'm like, wow, I can say this every fucking day. Right. Even being a small business owner, I have people come up to me and say, Molly, can I pick your brain? They always say that. Like, what do you think is, being an entrepreneur? How do you, what's the most important thing? I always say the most important thing is to remember that you're not just doing this for yourself.
Facts.
When you open a business, you are part of the community, and you have to do more for the community, because you can't just be an island. You will die, You have to have other people around you. You have to be invested. You have to give your time, your talent sometimes. Mm-hmm. You have to donate that. And it will come back. It will come back threefold, because you're building your home.
Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely.
This is your
and welcoming
home.
People into it.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I mean, a home is I don't believe a home is just for you to like go to bed and sleep. It's to invite people to
I agree.
Visit, be a part of your life.
I agree.
Yeah.
Quick question for you as we conclude.
Yes.
Based upon what you've learned about the four of us, which cocktail are you making for Arin, Ray?
Oh, this is good.
Which cocktail are you making for Steve Leeper? I like Dan Taylor and myself.
So,
you don't have to go into depth.
I'm not going to go into depth, but I just need one jumping off point.
Okay.
What liquor do you usually drink?
Ooh, tequila.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You know what? I am making you one of my favorites. It sounds weird. It's called a Mexican firing squad. But however, a Mexican firing squad isn't what you think. Like, boom, boom, boom. This is like, what I found out, it's kind of like a 1920s kind of slang for a conversation that's all happening at once.
Okay.
I don't know how else to explain it, but it's delicious. And you have to come and see me, and I'm going to make it.
Well, I'm going to be coming there, because I need that.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Right after the show.
Yeah, right after
I'll be there tonight. So, Arin, I'm going to be waiting for you.
What about Steve?
What kind of liquor do you drink?
Well, I can be flexible here. I could drink a bourbon, I could drink a vodka, I could drink a gin.
Okay.
Although I don't drink a lot of it, but I will drink it.
So
That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
David's laughing.
I'm a responsible bartender, so I won't let you go over 3. That's why. So for you, you're a game changer in the world. So you know what? I would probably make you. This is one of my favorite drinks. It's called a Saratoga. It dates back to the 1870s. It's the gentleman who it was created for helped to transform Saratoga, New York. We'll just go there. You have to come to see me to hear the whole story.
There you go. There you go.
But it's delicious. What kind of liquor do you like?
Limited amount, but vodka.
Okay, cool. So you are, since you're heading one of the most prestigious things that make up Cincinnati, we're going to go elegant. We're going to go with a Gypsy Queen. Gypsy Queen is a cocktail it's one of the earliest vodka drinks, because vodka wasn't really something until about the 1940s, right? Unless you were from Eastern Europe. And then you were just drinking it straight. So we're going to make you a Gypsy Queen, which is it's beautiful. It has 3 ingredients in it. It's so easy. It's vodka, it's Benedictine, and a dash of bitters to add some lift, some balance. And I think you would really love it. So you have to come see me, and I will tell you the rest of the story.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think I already know mine. And I'll probably see you later this evening.
I'll be there. I'll be there tonight.
It's all good. Well, listen, thank you guys for joining us. This has been absolutely phenomenal. I hope you have had just as much fun as I have. This is special to my heart. I think all of you know that all of you have gotten to know me pretty well over the course of our friendship. But thank you. And with that being said, we'll close it out. It's a wrap.
Awesome.
It's a wrap.
Thank you so much.
Good stuff.
Bye.